Welcome back, everybody. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Wendy Yee.
I'm Mike Delisio.
I'm Joey Evans.
Today we're playing The Plot Thickens.
It does.
Dun, dun,
The soup thickens.
Ooh,
Now, The Plot Thickens is a storytelling game. We're going to see which one of us becomes the main character of the story.
Okay.
You think it might be you, it might be me. There are 3 different versions of The Plot Thickens. There is this one, the detective one. There is a sci-fi one. There's a romance one. We're playing the detective version today.
Like that.
Can I swoon in this one?
You can win a copy of it, not Wendy, but you watching. And you can do that by emailing us at contest@dicestar.com, and in the subject line put the word plot. The subject is plot. Plot is the subject.
Plot is the subject.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
In the body.
What's
the
the
predicate?
denouement?
In the body, put a good detective name and your address in case you win. So I hope you do win. I'm talking to you. All right.
Your name would be Encyclopedia Joey, I think.
It would be.
Did you read Encyclopedia Brown when you were a kid?
I
Did not.
loved Encyclopedia Brown.
Really?
I did too.
Kid. Oh my gosh.
And Bugs was the bad guy. Was always, and there was always 2 guys. There was 2 guys in Encyclopedia Brown. There was always the bully, and then there was always the guy who was like, "I'm showing you this. This is gold." Encyclopedia Brown's like, "If that was gold, you wouldn't be able to lift it."
Right.
And everyone was like, "Wah!"
Yeah.
He was so smart.
Oh,
his
Encyclopedia
dad
Brown, man.
would come home. His dad was the chief of police. Would come home and give cases to him to solve.
Yes.
And then go home back and take the credit.
That's right. Encyclopedia Brown solved more serial killer crimes.
That's true. Could you imagine today?
poor
That kid was
child.
like, all right, the kid's like, what?
Look at his crime
what
scenes.
No, what it was is they would give you a short story, and then they'd be like, Encyclopedia Brown's like, I know who killed him. And you'd be like, it wasn't who killed him.
Yeah.
I know who robbed the whatever.
Yeah, it was never murder.
And then it'd be like, how do you know that? You know why? Because there's no penguins in the
Antarctic or
North
North Pole or whichever one they aren't in.
Oh,
Yeah.
some interesting fact you're supposed to learn as a kid.
But they don't mention that fact in there. They just know.
No, it's mentioned in there, and you're supposed to catch it.
Did you ever do stories with holes where you're supposed to ask yes or no questions till you figure out the
Yes,
solution?
but that's not this game.
It's not this game.
So the first thing we're doing in this game, I just handed everybody 3 different character cards. So the first thing we're going to do is you are going to look at these cards and pick one, and that is who you are going to be.
Okay.
You are going to be that character. That's the main. That's your character that you're going to be. So take that one, and then the ones we don't put, we're going to put back in the deck. Don't reveal it yet. You'll reveal it when you tell your first story. So there's 2 different ways to play this. You can play we can play a, what does it say here? A short story, but we're going to do a novel. We're writing the next great American novel.
Okay.
Okay.
Mistborn.
I guess we are
Times
American,
2.
so that makes sense, right?
Now, this one that you have here, keep this in front of you, this is you. I'm going to give you a hand of cards. That hand of cards is going to consist of 1 detective person.
Okay.
It is going to consist of 2 place cards.
Okay.
And 2 things.
So let me ask you this. This card that we chose,
That's you,
as a detective?
as part of the detective story.
Got it.
If you could quick claim you're the detective,
I
when it's your
like,
turn,
okay.
and then Joey would be like, it's our rival detective.
It's like, I'm detective.
And I'm like, I'm investigating 2 corrupt detectives. All right, so we have these.
Okay.
Person most recently finished reading a book goes first.
It's probably you, right?
Yesterday.
Probably you.
But it could be Wendy.
I was listening to a book today, but I didn't finish it.
That doesn't count. It's cheating.
Actually, no, I didn't finish the book yesterday. I finished one Sunday.
It's been a few.
Oh, Sunday? Still you.
I haven't finished a book in like a week and a half.
Okay, so we're trying to make an interconnected
2012.
story. So I'm going to be using these cards in front of me to build a story, but they're going to stay in front of me. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to interconnect the stories. Like if Joey's like at the bar, blah, blah, blah happened, I'll be like, I was also at that bar. And this is where we get to put our tokens on other people's cards.
Okay.
So, on your turn,
Writing
so I'll go
stories
first.
together.
I'm going to use my card to tell my story in the first person about me.
Okay.
I will, I guess, reveal myself at the very beginning here. Yeah, at some point, this is chapter 1, and there's going to be 6 chapters. It's a novel. A very, very short novel.
Yeah, yeah.
6 chapters. Well, 6 times 4 is 24.
All right.
That's
24 chapters.
That's a novel.
That's a good novel.
Yeah, okay.
So somewhere in there you introduce yourself and your name. So you come up with some name for your thing. And that will be separate from everything else as you tell the story. So I might say there was a dead body found in a reservoir. It was a dog.
I don't like that story.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
The dog murder mystery now?
It's funny how that's more sad.
Reservoir Dogs. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now you get it?
I do get
Where
it.
there was that episode
I
of
was slow
Bones
on the
where they found
uptake
it.
on that one.
Always got to explain this stuff.
Right.
Anyhow, you play them in the order they come up, so you put them in chronological order in front of you as you do them. So they show an example. Johnny Lakes, the local bartender, mixed a mean drink, but now he was deep in the drink dead at the old docks. And my name's Detective Tom Torn. I was hired into this investigation because the cops were desperate. Johnny's wallet and rings were missing, so my next stop was go to the nearest pawn shop. When you're done, you go, meanwhile, and then it passes to the next player.
Okay. Now, is this a hidden? People aren't supposed to know what we are, or they can know what our role is? This, our role.
You're going to introduce yourself in the beginning.
Got it. Okay, so it's not something.
Oh, so you know, okay, everyone's going to know what you are.
Yeah.
So for each card that you use, you get a plot point that comes from the supply. So we have a supply, but then ones that we can use come over here.
Okay.
So for each card that you use, and you could use all 5, and I think you should use all 5 because I don't see why you wouldn't do that. That's an earned token.
Okay.
So you want to work with these. It says, but don't tell a bad story at the expense of getting more tokens.
Okay. So
You tell your story your way.
Now, why do we want these? Now, if you create something nonsensical, or you create something that contradicts something you said earlier, the other players can writer block you. They declare writer's block, you know, and your turn is over, and it goes to the next person. But it has to be a majority of the group to agree that you are that's nonsense. You just played that card for no reason at all.
I'd like to form an alliance.
I would like that.
Now, we can thicken the plot. This is the main part of the game. You will place this, when you use a word played by someone else, you'll put one of this on the white area on their card. So if I played the reservoir and then Joey also used the reservoir in his story, legitimately, you would put a token on that card. You can only put one onto each card, even if you use it again, and you can't use your own cards again.
Right.
Does that come from your supply here or this supply?
That comes from your earned tokens.
So you can say those words again, you just can't put more tokens on them.
That's correct.
Okay.
You can also use plot tokens to help you when you're in a tight spot. You don't like any words in your hand, you can spend one, discard as many cards as you want, draw new ones.
Okay.
As your opening hand, I don't believe we have any earned ones at the beginning. We do not.
All right.
And you can also edit. If you get writers blocked, you can spend one to say, actually what I really meant was, and go back and fix what you said.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
At the beginning of your next turn, you'll draw back up to 5, any combination of cards, though. We're starting with the 1, 2, 2, but you can draw any combination. But now you have plot points you can use to connect to other people's stories, plus the cards in your hand, and you lay your second one in a line below the first one, just so we can see the chronological story.
All right.
We will keep doing this till we get to the last chapter. Then we will try to use as many of our earned plot points, because plot points are other people's cards. Whoever has the most out there will become the main character, and they get to end the story, trying to connect the loose ends and wrap up the narrative. And whoever has the most plot points on their cards is the author. So one person's the main character, another person will be the author, and the other 2 people are, I guess, are the editors.
They're the losers.
And they will name the title of the story afterwards.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the game.
All right.
And we can't look at these, right?
I sure hope so.
No, you can look at them.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so my name is Bob Jenkins.
Okay.
I'm a chronic gambler. I am in debt to the mob. I didn't want to, but I play lots of card games. I also have a anytime you see me, there is straight up a cigarette hanging out of the side of my mouth, just sitting there, you know, just like that kind of.
It's like a toothpick almost?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, my brother was murdered. One of my cronies came and got me and took me to the sewer where his body had been found. The police came and everything was swept away, but I went to the morgue and talked to the specialist there who refused to tell me anything. But my brother left me a letter with a key. That key opened the storage unit. I didn't know what to do next. Should I open the storage unit or not? I opened the storage unit, and I'll tell you what I found in a future chapter, but it made my draw drop. So I went to draw drop.
4 times the charm.
My name
That
is
cigarette
Draw
you can't get out of your
Job.
mouth.
My name is
This how you
Bob
pronounce the word.
Spoonerism. Anyhow, I could not believe what I saw that made me go to the local bar and drink like there was no tomorrow.
What'd
I
you
sat
drink?
there silently nursing my beer.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
Okay. So meanwhile, I was hired by a woman. I'm a private eye. My name is Cary Grant.
that seems awfully convenient.
I was hired by a
Is it
woman.
Cary Grant or Carrie?
Cary.
It's Gary Krantz.
Cary Grant, but it's spelled C-A-R-R-I-E.
That's
Legally distinct.
Nice to
I'm
meet you,
going
Gary.
to a prom. Going to a prom.
Not to me.
okay.
So I was hired by a woman who her husband had been eaten in a sewer by an alligator. So the first place I went is, of course, to the zoo to ask how the alligator got out. And I found a writer who had written a story about how the alligator had escaped. Now, the man had a brother. So I went, and I knew the brother was a degenerate gambler. So I went to the local speakeasy where he was having a beer. So there he was in his suit, and I sat down and I started up a conversation with him. And what he said blew my mind. It made my jaw drop.
You used a sewer, didn't you?
Oh, I did use sewer.
Look at that.
Oh, I did use beer.
So those can come out of here, not out of your earned.
No, they come out of your earned. That's
Those-
right. You can't do them on the first.
Oh, wait. How do you earn them?
By playing a card.
Okay, so I did use.
You gotta say meanwhile.
To get one per card.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
Who are you?
So we're trying to connect all these, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a detective story.
There's like 7 murders already.
there's a lot of
detective story.
It's the same brother.
My name is Rico. I'm a businessman, a legitimate businessman. But for some reason, people think that I'm a mobster. I don't understand why. I'm very legitimate. I got businesses all over the place. The less you know about them, the better. Now look, I've always been a low-profile kind of guy. I don't like attracting too much attention to myself because of my businesses.
Yes, you said the word business a lot. There we go.
You understand what I'm
I
saying?
got it.
Oh,
Businesses.
I got it.
Legitimate businesses. I feel like I got magnifying glasses on me all the time all of a sudden now. Even though I'm a legitimate businessman. And the reason is that my business, one of my main businesses, is I would transport interesting things in film canisters. Were they films? As far as you know, they were films. Now all of a sudden, I got a whole kind of heat on me. It's getting hot in here. Because apparently, there was...
It's even better when you see the cards, you know where it's going.
Apparently, there was a mayor in this small town. I get these right away when I play them?
No, when you're done.
There was this mayor in the small town who, I don't know how it happened, but I think a safe fell on his head on accident or something. I don't know. I don't have all the details, but they keep looking at me. I don't know this guy. He's not one of my associates. Business associates. See? So now I got to go to this stupid small town, and I got to go to the warden office and explain to these people that I'm a legitimate businessman.
So just to clarify,
Second murder.
when you're explaining that you did commit a crime, you go to the warden's office.
That's it. I'm going to the warden's office.
I may
Now,
see you later.
do I have a prior relationship with this warden? As far as you know, I don't. I figured that's my first stop.
Okay.
Apparently this guy may be in a bar somewhere. I don't know. I'm getting information all the time from my associates.
Say meanwhile.
My business associates.
Your story's taking too long.
Meanwhile,
All right, we'll have to follow that. That's great. So, I'm one of those people that's often overlooked in the city. I hang out. I may or may not go through a dumpster here or there to find some treasures. There's some things I like to travel. I don't want to be stuck in one place, okay? And therefore, I like to hang out on street corners. I'm a vagabond. I just like to hang out. My name is Sally. I'm Sally. And I may or may not consume things that make me feel great, and that's okay. That's okay.
Sorry, I already have taken the beer and the cigarettes, but
She's talking about pie.
But you know what? You know what? I often see things. I often see things in the city as I move around. Now, this is Florida, so there are lots of swamps, and I did hear about this alligator thing that happened recently in the sewers.
You're told to
Florida
say.
doesn't have sewers. Writer's block!
We don't have sewers?
we're in the sea, basically.
Yeah, we are
We are
sea level. I'm sorry, we're at sea level.
The sewers are above
that
us.
out. It does make sense. Okay.
Where does my water
Okay.
go?
It goes
It
upstream.
goes through pipes, but there's no sewers.
So I've seen things
It's
in
all
these
pipes.
make-believe sewers where I live. No. But there have been some shady stuff going on in this abandoned shack nearby. It could be a few things. There could be a communist meeting going on.
It's always an option.
It could just be teenagers causing a ruckus. I'm not really sure.
Either teenagers or communists. One of the two. One of the two.
Officer. Same old story.
But as I'm sitting out there enjoying my cigarettes, that I borrow someone's lighter and I have a conversation because, you know, you just got to enjoy the people around you. You should just kind of observe the high life going on. And I'll tell you what, I felt betrayal because they didn't have a lighter on them. That was sad. So I had to go dig through some garbage cans, find a match or two, hope it wasn't wet from the sewers. And yeah, that's why I'm sitting there. But I tell you what, I hear a lot of things. I hear a lot of things as I'm overlooked. And
I'm the author. I'm going to name his book Repetition.
And you know what? There was something about some shady guys that were selling film canisters full of deliciousness that I wanted to purchase.
Again, pie.
There's some special things in there.
You bake your way, I'll
And,
bake mine.
I hear that if you go down to a special storage unit, that there are quite a few film
Why
canisters.
are you using this now? You can't put the tokens on them.
I don't care. There's some,
You need to say meanwhile. You can't.
there's some canisters.
When you
that I'm
use your
looking
last
for.
card, you're kind of supposed to end your story.
So do I have one of these unlocked for each one
You
of
got
these?
5.
Yes.
Just like, yeah, we all have that, right? Oh, did we get one for our mobster card, too?
No.
So what we draw up to? We draw up.
Okay.
We dropped to 5, but we can draw from anything, right?
And we draw at the beginning of our turn?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay. There you go.
All right. So.
Meanwhile,
Well, she's
Back at the
supposed to
ranch.
meanwhile.
I did say meanwhile.
no, you started complaining about how long it was taking.
After talking to the private eye,
Repeat it after talking to the private eye. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You
Go ahead.
oh, sorry.
Continue.
After talking to the
on.
private eye, I hired him to conduct an investigation into the death of my brother, which had occurred, as we remember, at the zoo. But I'm not using that yet because I'm not using the zoo. I'm not just using. I'm not just saying the word to put a token on. It has to be part of the story.
Okay.
Okay.
That
Okay.
makes sense. You can't just say words. Be like, oh,
Yeah.
I love cigarettes.
Okay. All right.
Right.
All right.
So I don't have enough money to pay the investigator, but Rico. I went to one of Rico's bookies and got the money.
Associates.
Okay.
Rico's bookie named Jed. He's 87. Sitting on his front porch, and Rico's like, "What?" And I was like, "I'm gonna find out who killed my brother." And he said, Jed said, "You are in so deep with Rico. I don't think you'll ever be able to get out." And I'm like, "I don't care." So I suspect that my brother was murdered. The alligator was just a cover-up scene. So I'm going to seek revenge against a murderer of my brother. I will find him. So I'm going to go look. So I went to the zoo, and while I was at the zoo, I was looking around, and I was like, why does a zoo in Florida even have alligators? They're easily found outside. It was a confusing situation. It was even more so when the zoo told me they didn't have alligators.
Why did you
Cover up.
Dun, dun,
move one of those into your
dun.
supply? Because you put that in from your supply.
Oh, thank you. You're right.
Cheating, Tom.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, I went to the mayor. Tried to go. The mayor in our town is very easy because it is a small town. So I went and talked to the mayor, and I said, my brother was murdered. The mayor didn't believe me. He threw me out. And when he threw me out, I saw Rico's thugs heading my direction. And I don't like these words, so I'm going to
Get rid of those two, yep.
Ooh.
So I ran to a place that made me feel like home, the red light district. And at the red light district, I hid in my local speakeasy.
You keep taking them from your supply.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you. With a big mustache, fake mustache to hide. I didn't do anything wrong, but I don't want Rico's guys to get me. I shivered in fear, nursing my beer. Meanwhile,
Okay.
So you can keep a card.
yeah, you don't have to use all your
You don't
cards.
have
You draw
Use them
up to 5. You don't draw 5.
Yeah, you draw up to 5.
I
Let's
gotcha.
see here. All right, here we go. Let's see here. Ooh. Okay. All right. So the guy was distraught about his brother. Kept going on and on about him being killed by a man named Rico. I don't know much about Rico.
I did not tell you Rico killed my brother. Rico's where I got the money to pay you to investigate it.
I had no idea about this guy named Rico.
You borrowed money from the guy that killed your brother?
Okay.
No, I didn't. I don't know that Rico killed my brother. Rico's the guy I get the money from.
Disregard everything I just said.
Writer's block, edit.
So anyway, as we talked, I went ahead and I would look at this alligator. And on the alligator were some fingerprints on the tail, which I did not know was possible to
How do
get
they get those off?
You know,
from an alligator. You don't put that on. But the fingerprints, I went into a specialist to see if they could tell me where the fingerprints came from. And sure enough, a man named Rico. So, hadn't heard of this guy, Rico. So I went up to the public records office and I looked up all I could about Rico. And then I found out that he was having a meeting with the warden. Happens to have a card of that myself.
What do you know?
So I go to look for Rico and I couldn't find him. But the warden wouldn't tell me anything. So we started a little scuffle. Some might call it a fight. And I wanted to know what the warden knew about this guy.
wait, you're fighting the warden?
I do that.
Imagine you would have guards.
So I want to get the information from this warden, this dirty warden.
Where were you fighting the warden?
The prison. Wasn't my smartest move
I was fighting the warden at beer.
to try to find out more about this Rico. But meanwhile,
All right, 5 cards.
And you played 4 cards, you get
cards.
4 more tokens. Yeah, I'm going to do that too. I'm going to put these way over here. So I stop
grab him.
grabbing them.
That's fair.
3, 4, 5. All right, let's see what I got going on over here.
People don't say mayor. Is it mayor? I say mayor.
Mare?
I don't think it matters
a
much.
female horse?
It's just lazy pronunciation, the mayor.
Mare?
Mayor.
Wait, how do you say
Mare.
crayon? Do you say crayons?
I say crayon.
Wait, you know we just talked about this.
We're back to the crayons.
Did you really?
again.
Yes.
Oh man, I missed it.
All right, now I got to try to keep track of what all you were saying over there.
Okay, what's your name
Where's my
again?
writer's block card?
Cary Grant.
We have Rico, we have Carrie, and we have...
Bob Jenkins.
And did I say Sally or Pam? Because I was definitely thinking both.
Sally.
Sally, okay.
All right. So Remember that heat I was mentioning a little while ago? It just turned up a notch. I got a lot of heat. Why? I don't know. Apparently, there's this private eye who's sticking his nose where it doesn't belong. Right? So, I thinks to myself, look, I'm an honest, hard-working guy. We're both men. Maybe could be business associates. Maybe. I figure I'm going to head on over to this private eye office.
Wow.
Have a little chat with the private eye. See if we could come to some kind of understanding. All right. So, I hop on my motorcycle.
Best gangster ever.
You French. Please tell me you're French.
And apparently he does stuff himself since he's the one handling the alligator.
He has a driver, though, on the motorcycle,
Hey,
which is even better.
This is a small town mom.
The chauffeur like, sir, let me put you on.
He's just holding on to his driver.
Yeah. So I take my motorcycle over to the private eye's office. This guy named Cary Grant. And said to him, look, Cary, I've been hearing a few things around. Grapevine. I've got a lot of business associates. I heard that maybe you've been talking to the warden a little bit. Now, I don't know if you know this, Cary, but the warden and I are friends. Personal friends. Got a lot of history. We know things about each other. He knows things about you. Therefore, Cary, I know things about you. Now, would I ever use these things against you in such a way that it might have you end up in a prison tower? As far as I know, I don't. As far as you know, I don't. Look, I've been called many things, Cary. I'm a blue-collar worker. I do what I need to do. I was brought up with these certain values and beliefs that are very important to me, Cary. And when anybody starts pushing on those, I don't know, maybe it's a character flaw, I start thinking about revenge a little bit. So, Cary, I think it's time that we have an understanding man to man. Meanwhile,
Joey's crying over there.
I feel very attacked.
Oh, man. Do your values include family?
as far as you know.
Oh my.
I believe in honesty, truth,
Oh, my.
justice,
Okay.
kindness, and murder.
The American way. All right, all right. So I was talking about those special film canisters that I hear you can get a hold of, right? I hear they got some special candy inside. Some of the good stuff. Some of the good stuff. So I had to find a way to pay for it because, you know, it's not like I can carry out, like, hold down a real good job right now. So I'm working for a company, a pool house, cleaning pools, right there. Clean up people's messes. And
Just tuned in.
What is happening? It's a hard one to jump in the middle of. We'll catch you up.
special
One of the
candy and
designers is
mobsters. Okay.
Oh, we can't connect other people's character cards? Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you can or can't?
Yes.
Can, yeah.
Oh, you
Okay.
guys have definitely connected to each other. And
Yeah,
you
Yeah, I
connected.
did. I definitely
Oh,
did.
Yeah, you definitely connected.
Look, if anybody wants to call me a mobster, you can at your own peril. You call me a mobster? You mentioned me, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so special candy. I hear this special candy comes from Uncle Rico. That's the way that you can get some special candy. And my pool house job doesn't pay a ton, but it pays enough for my special snacks. And it's some good stuff. So I was looking around at Uncle Rico's guys, and I was talking to them, just seeing if there's a way that I could.
Uncle Rico?
Yeah.
All right, look, I was going to address it in a minute.
I'm really not liking Sally all
Wait
the
till
time.
chapter 3. We'll talk about uncles.
Hey, that's what they say in the sewers, man.
Okay.
Call him Uncle Rico. We got a connection there.
Man,
We got a connection there. So the pool house wasn't paying quite enough for the stuff I wanted, so I had to go to the loan shark to get a little bit more of that green that I needed.
Why did you skip a card?
I don't know.
And also,
Put under Shaq.
you also put
Once I
one of
go to
your
check.
tokens on the card, which you're not supposed to do.
I'm telling a story, Tom. Telling a story. I had to go to the loan shark so I could get my special candy, because it's some great stuff. And as I was heading over to the loan shark, because I just like watching people, right? I just like to kind of sit in the corners and enjoy myself in the shadows while I watch people. And I noticed that in the trash can, someone was throwing something really big and heavy over. And so I just being curious, and I don't mind getting my hands dirty a little bit. So I peeked inside this dumpster, and I found a body bag with a body inside. Meanwhile,
All right. All right, that night was a tough night. I'm sorry.
Took too many.
That was a real tough night.
I woke up with a raging hangover. My pronunciation wasn't good.
It wasn't.
On my way home, I bumped into the vagabond Sally. Well, at least vagabond. Everyone called her cat lady Sally, because she was always with a bunch of cats. She was sitting there at dumpster, sitting there mumbling as she has been doing for years about this strange candy. No one still knows what she's talking about. So I ignored her, but noticed a body bag. I went and looked. Dead body. None of my business. This might be Rico's work. I don't know. I never known him to kill anybody. He definitely breaks kneecaps, but never heard about him murdering people. So I ran scared. So I woke up the next morning in the sewers, which is my card.
but you said body
Sure you
bag,
didn't wake
right?
up in the warden office?
What I meant was I woke up in a shack.
Take it from here. There you go.
Let's put these way over
The
here.
communist shack.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the shack that Sally's talking about communist meetings, but it looks like this is basically where a bunch of hobos and ne'er-do-wells hang out at different points. It was gross and nasty, and I woke up in a puddle of my own vomit. I'm embarrassed. So I'm slinking around,
Is your
and I
wallet?
decided I need to get my life together. Maybe I can go help the investigator. So I went and looked for the private eye and found him in his office. He was sporting... I went to the private eye's office. He was sporting a shiner. I asked him where he got the shiner from, and he mumbled something like he had hit a door at his house for the previous day. I said, look at your own cards, Tom. Maybe you should play one of them. I said, I have to get back to work because I'm a gambler. But that's not my job. I
can't wait to see what you actually do.
I'm actually a cleaner. Like not a mob cleaner.
I was like,
No,
okay,
I'm in charge of the housekeeping of the penthouse suite at the local Hilton.
Okay.
Hilton.
Wow.
And we recently had a union boss staying there. So I went there, knocked on the door. No one was there. I went in and was cleaning, and I noticed on the sink a bloody razor. So I slipped into my pocket.
Smart. Closed it first, right?
Scrambled off to my brother, Rob Jenkins, and who owns a photography studio, and we took pictures, and I said, maybe this has something to do with it. He said, it makes no sense. You're still looking for revenge. I said, I know, but we will find this thing. Let's see if we can find some fingerprints. So I went to the specialist who said, I don't check fingerprints for random people coming in off the street. Also, why do you have that bloody knife? But by that point, I was already out the door running away. Meanwhile.
Okay. There we go. And can't wait to see what happens here. All right.
This is coming to a theater.
Yes, that's right.
Right.
Get ready. Pre-production.
All right.
We'll be running a Kickstarter to produce this movie.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
As long as Chris edits it, it'll turn out well.
All right. So Bob Jenkins just visited me after I got a visit from Rico. And I didn't tell Bob exactly. What was I going to tell him? His private eye got beat up by some lowlife. I was going to keep that to myself. So I went, because Rico just got me because I wasn't ready. I went to where I knew Rico was there. I went to his house, waited outside. I was watching his henchman right outside his house. I knew I couldn't get in. Saw a woman in the shadows. There it was, the wife of the man that died. What was she gonna do? Attack him? Did she think she was some femme fatale? Sure hope I really know what that word means. Could really go either way.
By the way, I just realized this is Rob, my brother who owns a photography studio.
Yeah.
Is not the brother who died.
Oh.
That was Cobb. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
So,
Just want to clear it up.
And what was your name?
Is that the code for
Bob.
perception?
Bob Jenkins, Rob Jenkins, and Cobb Jenkins.
Okay, I got you.
okay. So we both talked for a little bit, and we cooled down. We realized we can't go at this guy head on. We hear he's got a niece who's a vagabond.
That's pretty close to writer's block. I just want to say
I'm itching.
It's Uncle Rico, right?
No.
All right, give me that back. I'm not going to make you a niece. All right, here we go. So she finally agrees with me, and she puts her knife away. She didn't really have a plan in the first place.
What are you doing?
I don't know. So then we talk a little bit about it, and we go back to the sewer and take a look. This is a little more evidence to see what we can find. And we look around, and then we found.
Roy.
Hey, Roy.
We need batteries.
Yeah.
Oh, we did.
No, just Wendy's.
I was at 3.
You're
look
not dead. You're still alive.
We look around to find more evidence, and we found a watch. Somebody else was down there with him. So we take the watch to the pawn shop locally, and we find out where it came from because he had sold that exact watch. And who bought it surprised us.
Is it just going in and out?
Meanwhile,
Cliffhanger, huh? Is that in the rules?
You get 4 more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You get 4 more of your.
from over here, here we go. All right.
All right, I'm going to do 1, 2,
Check.
3, 4, 5. Oh.
These are the chapters I always skip over when I'm reading.
You wait for like talking, don't you?
You're getting,
like
you're
action?
getting to the
No,
end.
I don't want to read the viewpoint of a mob boss.
I know, right? What? How about when they look at you directly when they're talking? You think that's awkward? As he's beating up your character.
That's all right. You're. I'll come back to you later. I'll come back to you later. All right. So I got a little bit of information. Let's put it to you this way: a little information. I told my bookie business associate, Jed, right?
Jed, yeah.
Jed, to come meet me at the park. I wanted to have a little discussion with him. Jed tells me that he hears that my name, my good name, is being dragged around a bit. I don't have a lot of time for this. What do they think? I'm some kind of goon? I'm not a legitimate businessman?
I really think he brings his own cards with him. He's really lucked out his cards.
So I decided I was going to talk to a buddy of mine, a fellow business associate. He's a union boss, stays in a penthouse suite. Look, I don't know where he gets his money. I don't ask. He don't tell. We got an understanding. He tells me, apparently, my name is being connected with the murder of some guy. Now, normally, I don't pay any attention to this. You can accuse me of whatever you want. You got proof? No? Shut up. However, it's interesting to me that this guy that I'm being connected with, his untimely demise, is the brother of a guy that, for one reason or another, owes me a suitcase full of money. That gets my interest up. I don't like when people have connections to me. I also don't like when people call me uncle. Keep that in mind. So, I think maybe it's time for me to take a walk, or maybe
Off a short pier.
get on my motorcycle. Sometimes I like to walk, sometimes I like to ride. It depends on the day. And I'm going to head over to this. Were you at the photography studio?
Yes.
I'm going to head on over to this photography studio. And I'm going to get a little bit more information about this guy's brother. And while we're there, maybe we'll bring up the money he owes me. Meanwhile,
All right.
I'm scared.
You're scared. What do I got? I got two? All right. Let's see what happens. All right. So there's this body bag, right, in the dumpster that I found. And as I'm shocked and trying to kind of pull myself together, because I see weird stuff in dumpsters, okay? There's some weird stuff in there. I have to say I've never found an actual human corpse before. And so as I'm stumbling back and I kind of hit this gambler, this guy that's clearly a little bit in over his head and a little bit tipsy at the moment, I run into him, and he just kind of like shoves me out of the way and runs off. I don't know if he's guilty. I don't know if he's the one, but I went to the police station and I told them all that I saw. I saw the body. I saw this weird gambler. I didn't get any candy from Uncle Rico, so I was a little bit disappointed on that. But you know what? It all took place in the red light district. There were a bunch of other ladies, you know, walking around in their high heels, looking like them fancy kind of secretaries, you know, like the.
I don't know about that. You're giving this whole profession is a bad name.
Administrative
My
assistant.
goodness.
Oh.
I didn't realize there was a connection between secretaries and others.
Oh.
And, you know, there's just a lot of people around, and so I'm filing this police report. And some fancy big-wig politician, the mayor, is on the TV. And he's talking about how he's cleaning up our small town. He's cleaning it up, and he's making sure that all the murders and stuff are going to get solved, because there was that big alligator. There's a big alligator murder that happened, and he said we're gonna find solutions. We're gonna find answers. And I just think I hope so, because I live in the shadows, and I want my shadows to stay safe. Meanwhile.
All right, we're going to make this the final chapter here.
All right.
Final chapter.
It's a good thing I was wearing brown pants.
That's the best first line of a chapter I've ever heard.
That just ranks up there.
Because Rico had just walked through the door. I wasn't expecting to see him. After I regained consciousness, as his goons were beating the snot out of me, I said, Rico,
You could pop a goon on.
yeah, that's right.
Papa Goon. You a Papa Goon?
It's like, Rico, I will get you your money back. But why did you?
Oh, man. Never want to be said. I'm not a generous man.
Why did you kill my brother? He then snarled at me that he had nothing to do with killing my brother. Then who would have killed my brother? And then I remember my brother had, just a few weeks ago, an insurance salesman had come and sold him a massive insurance policy. Was it his wife? Had his wife killed him? I told Rico, who didn't seem to care and punched me a few times for good measure, But then I ran down the street looking for the closest person, anybody carrying a badge, so that I could get them to go and find this woman and arrest her. And then I remembered she had divorced my brother? No, she had left my brother, but they weren't divorced yet. They were technically still married, and she was living with Rico. But Rico didn't seem to know that my brother had died. What secret were they hiding? Who could I go to? I knew that the mayor was corrupt. I knew that the warden was corrupt. The only person I knew who was honest, stupid as they might be, was Cary Grant.
You could pop one on Warden, too.
Oh, I did do Warden. Yeah, you're right. It was Cary Grant. I ran, found him in the red light district, like normal.
I was looking around.
He told me he was hiring a new secretary.
A special secretary?
I told him the whole story. He said, "Where is this woman now?" I said, "I don't know. I haven't seen her in a while. She hangs out at Rico, and I don't go anywhere near Rico." I gave him Rico's business card. I said, "Maybe he can help you. I'm out. Peace." And then I disappeared.
Poof.
I need to get some money. I'm done. Meanwhile,
He already has money. All right, last go around.
Here we go. Here we go.
Tom, you could have put one of your things on secretary because you said that.
that's
Yeah,
true.
you
I
did.
did say
Yeah.
But he
secretary.
doesn't have an extra one. Oh, do you?
I did.
Oh, you did?
There we
Okay.
go.
Remember, you can spend one of these to draw new cards.
Yeah, some of these are pretty rough. All right, here we go.
Draw a new card or all new cards?
You can discard it and draw as many as you want.
Okay, gotcha.
So Bob came in all hot and didn't really trust his sister-in-law. He blobbed a little bit. He blah, 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 blah. But you know what? Brothers don't know everything. I wanted to know about this watch. The pawn shop guy had told me that it belongs to a mayor of a small town. So I went into this mayor's office, and he was sitting there talking to a union boss. They were just chatting, and I waited outside, sitting with the secretary until I was called in. I mean, getting all the cards while I did that. And then I went in, I mentioned the watch, why I had it. As he's talking, giving reasons it could have fallen down the grates, noticed his phone. Noticed it was on. In the background, the picture was of the wife, the one I'd been talking to. Thought, it's pretty interesting. Why does he have a picture of this guy's wife?
He's got a good strategy because I got no idea what's going on. I can't call him anything.
So as I sat there in the office, my mind started running through all the situations that could happen and how bad, really bad my cards were. We're going to go ahead and get rid of all of them, or I can get rid of some?
Some as much as you want.
Yeah.
All right, here we
You
go,
got to
here we
pay
go.
for it, though.
All right.
Doesn't come
let's pay
free.
it. All right. There we go. All right. And here we go. All right. So to go back to the morgue.
When were you at the morgue?
Yesterday, didn't you hear?
I looked at the body. I went to the morgue.
Yeah, there we go.
And I looked a little bit more at the body. Meanwhile, there's a guy on the slab next to
Meanwhile,
him.
okay.
Whoa. Meanwhile, on the slab next to me was some poor soul that had a safe dropped on him.
That's nice, yeah.
Oh. Meanwhile.
Okay. I have no idea what just happened. I seriously?
I gave you the keys.
I have-
did? Oh.
You were supposed to solve the case.
I put it on the mayor. I don't trust the mayor.
I have no idea what happened there. Okay, so I got two
You
here.
did say he wasn't very bright.
So I'm
I
drawing.
did.
I'm
Yeah.
drawing.
Oh, sorry, you're right.
to
I wrote
five.
that into the story, and Joey ran with it.
I did.
I am drawing up to 5, right?
Yes.
You are.
3, 4, 5. Okay. All right.
Cat out there.
That's usually how it sounds when my cat is outside the door trying to get in.
What is happening? Okay.
All right. So,
It's going to be a good one.
at this photography studio, I go in there and I'm like, "Excuse me, sir. I'm an upstanding businessman in the market for a camera. It's a photography studio. I think maybe you'll sell me a camera." Yeah?
Yeah.
The guy looks at me and clearly he knows who I am. My reputation, what do they say, precedes me. Okay? So, clearly we know each other. We can get rid of the facade that's been set up. So I says to the guy, "Look, apparently there's a body. And apparently my name is being bandied about in connection with this body. Now look, we've done business before. Matter of fact, that transaction is incomplete. I held up my end of the bargain. You got your money. I don't remember talking to you about the money I get back. This is a good time to address it. Now look, I don't like to fight.
Oh my goodness.
I'm more into love. Everybody, you ask anybody. Rico, he's a lover.
Black guy.
Not a fighter.
That's correct.
He's right.
Rico's a lover, not a fighter. Also, not for nothing, he's not an uncle. So, after some gentle persuading and a little bit of exercise for a few of my knuckles, I left the place. Because clearly, he don't know what's going on. There's one thing that's very important to me, and this is in all aspects of life. I don't like seeing my name in the newspaper. I go through very elaborate means to make sure I don't get my name in the newspaper. I got a secret or two I would like to keep. I'm looking around to see what I can do. All right. I'm thinking at this point, maybe, since I clearly know nothing about this crime, I'm a businessman, let's keep this in mind.
He's like the guy that write a 1,000-word page. He's like, I'll use business as many times as possible.
Right.
I'm being paid by the word.
Right. I'm going to head over to the police station. So I go over there because, look, one or two of these guys, they know me. We're just friends. Just friends. They don't got anything to worry about. They tell me I got nothing to worry about. However, one of them, just as a sign of good faith, he says, "Look, Rico, maybe it's worth your while to head on over to the morgue. There may be some information for you there at the morgue. Some information that could clear your good name. Because clearly, you're a good guy. You're a good fella, some might say." So I head on down to the morgue to find out what I can see. Meanwhile,
I think the plot is
are we
thickening
taking
here.
more? Are we still taking for these, or?
Yeah, I do it. I don't know
Okay.
what that matters at the end.
Okay. All right, so I'm here at the police station. Stressed about this body that I saw. I mean, I just can't remove those fingers from my brain that were sticking out of that body bag. And I just start talking. And when I just start talking, stuff just kind of falls out of my mouth. I don't want them to think that I did it, that I was guilty. And I was the one who found the body, so maybe they thought that. So I just started talking. I started talking about all the things that I heard about you know, what was going on with Uncle Rico, and
every time I get to Wendy's chapters, I'm like, is this in the same book?
I was talking about how I know that he comes across as a blue-collar worker, but...
Oh, here we go. We're going to load up on Uncle Rico.
Watch Wendy game the system.
Always gives me suitcases of money.
but you know, he's got people that work for him. He's got these goons and these loan sharks, and you know, and people that are people that work for him.
You actually have to play cards to play the game. You can't just start throwing out your magnifying glasses all over the place.
And yeah, well, I need a bunch more of these. How do I replace these?
You spend
one magnifying glass.
Let's just redo them all. I don't want any of those. One done. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. All right.
Body.
So, as I'm talking about it, the police officer, was there a police officer? Was that one of the things?
Nope.
No? Okay. Well, the police officer's eyes are just glazing over because he's just like, this lady's too much information. None of this makes sense. The story's all weird. I get that sometimes. I can see it and I just keep going, but you know, eventually everything came around, and I was talking about how the lady with the lipstick, the secretary with the lipstick, was there with a particular gentleman, and that particular gentleman didn't look like the normal guys that were down there in the red light district. He looked more like a detective. I think someone said his name was Carrie. I
didn't do it.
Looking through some stuff, and he was looking in. He was asking questions. He was asking questions about some key to a storage unit. He was asking questions about what else can we ask questions about?
You have to.
This insurance salesman. He's asking questions about a lot of things.
That's how you don't play the game, children.
We could writer's block her.
That's true. That's true. No.
Okay.
I'm writer blocking that
Okay.
insurance. Why, no one was asking questions about insurance agents.
Yeah.
It wasn't the salesman, was it? It was the wife?
It was the wife of the brother.
The wife of the brother. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll spend one. Okay, so asking questions about some guy's brother and an insurance fraud. I was hearing all this stuff, and I was like, maybe the police should just go check out what's going on over there, get some of that heat off of me, you know, so that I'm not getting caught for the body bag and stuff. And you know what? At some point they just released me because apparently they didn't think I actually did anything. So I decided to head back to a new place that I'd like to call home, in the zoo. Near the zoo.
Oh my goodness, she lives in the zoo. The vagabond.
What does that even mean?
Oh my goodness.
Meanwhile, I gotta move different parts
near
of town.
the zoo.
Different parts of town.
Wow.
I could have called you a gambler and got rid of one of these, and I didn't do it.
All right.
Okay.
So whoever has the most magnifying glasses out is the main character will end the story, and then whoever has the most on their own is the author and will choose the title of the story. I think Mike has the most on his cards.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
All right.
I think you have the most
10.
out too, potentially.
I don't know.
Mike is purple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
9,
10.
Count the yellows. A lot of those came out
10,
last week.
11 purples. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I only have 8 yellows out.
Did you count all these too?
Yeah.
I have 12 out, Mike. I beat you.
All right. So you are the main
Our
character.
main character.
Main
Yes.
character.
Okay.
Which
And you
makes
get to name
sense.
it.
Do you end the story?
Yeah, I'll end the story. So
Can you name it?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
Is that how it is? I name it?
Right? I think so, yeah.
I bumped into Sally again on the way home, and she was acting super suspicious, rambling incoherent things. So I stealthily followed her until I saw Cobb's wife, and I realized they were sisters.
What?
This whole time, I ran up to Cobb's wife and confronted her. Just then, the police showed up because Cary Grant finally did something right for the first time ever.
I'm Columbo.
Maybe this kid would make it in this small town. We pulled off the fake mask off of the wife and found out that she was really
Rico.
a mass murderer that the police have been looking for a while. All the murders that we have mentioned in this story were committed by the same person conveniently.
Oh, man.
Rico showed up, stood in the background, watching silently. Didn't seem to care that his wife was being taken away. He'd probably have a new one. I went up and slapped him on the back and said, "See, all things good. It was a good ending. Then he punched me in the face and said, "You still owe me money." The end.
What is the name of our fine story, Mike?
What's we name it?
I want to name it Nobody's Uncle, but I won't. Let's say we're going to do...
This is what's going to sell the book. This is big.
Yeah, I know. You're putting a lot of pressure on me here.
This isn't a book. This is a movie now.
Who was the name of the victim? It was
Cobb.
Which Cobb?
Cobb Jenkins.
Oh, it was
No,
Cobb.
Oh, yeah.
This was Jenkins. Jenkins was the...
No, I'm Bob Jenkins. My brother Cobb Jenkins got murdered.
You have to name
okay.
all the actors.
Rob
that play
Jenkins
each of
was
us,
fine.
too.
Got it, got it.
Not you.
Dibs on Cary
I'll
Grant.
let you do that.
He's
All right.
not living.
No, that's true.
You
Okay.
weirdo. CGI, I'm in.
Give me one second. I gotta.
Disney could do it.
I do this every week for the video subtitles too. Just gotta give me a second.
Yeah.
Do you need to recap it?
Comments are saying,
Here we go. Mourn on the Cobb.
What a fun.
that,
That was
Wow. Wow.
That, my friends, is the plot thickens.
all right.
Wow.
Yep, you can find the links to all 3 versions of it in the description below. We got more coming your way. And we're going to do a couple top 10 lists, and we'll be right back. Woo!